Hello everyone, I'm Rashmi Mangla. I'm working as an assistant professor for the BBA department of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. The subject that I'll be teaching today is e-commerce. This is our second lecture of Unit 4 of e-commerce. The topics of Unit 4 that we'll be covering today are work phase, work zone, workspace, business planning of an e-commerce project, conceptual design, infrastructure and resources required for an e-commerce system. Now let's begin with work phase. Now what is work phase? It refers to the immediate work objectives of a person or crew. The instant objectives of work of a person or crew, that's called work phase. It is a focus for conversations about productivity and the difference between productivity measures in front-end engineering, detailed engineering, logistics and supports, and direct tool time at the work phase. The complete application of work phase planning provides a definitive view of what we should be doing, what we can do and what we are doing. So when we completely apply the work phase planning, we just get an overview of what we have to do, what we can do and what we actually are doing. So we get an overview about these things. And not only this, work phase creates customer initiated engagement technology that helps the companies to market, sell and support their products and services on the internet. Now let's see the next one, that's work zone. Now an optimal work zone is the area in which an employee can perform a specific task or set of tasks while maintaining a comfortable and neutral posture. So that work area, that work zone where while the employee is working, जब वो काम कर रहा है, he can maintain a comfortable posture of doing the work. That is called optimal work zone. Now work performed in the optimal work zone is less likely to cause musculoskeletal problems or injuries than work that requires the employee to reach or apply force outside of this zone. So basically the employees who are working in their optimal zone, the employees who are working in their work zone, they are less likely to have any sort of injuries or have any sort of problems. उनको problems कम होती हैं as compared to the people who have to move out of their work zone, जिन्हें बाहर जाके काम करना पड़ता है out of their optimal work zone. Now the optimal work zone is also sometimes referred to as the best work zone or preferred work zone. Optimal work zone is the preferred work zone where the employees prefer to do the work. Now next we have workspace. Workspace enables real-time project intelligence to replace the time-consuming, costly and inaccurate project reports that are typically outdated by the time they are produced. So what workspace does is it enables the real-time project intelligence, and the real-time project replaces the older ones which are time-consuming, which are costly and which have inaccurate reports. Now to achieve more predictable outcomes, to achieve good outcomes which we are already predicting, and reliable forecast, organizations are consolidating project data into smart platforms like Workspace, capable of producing project intelligence that is automatically updating every minute of every day. So basically we are just updating ourselves in order to have our predictable outcomes, in order to get reliable forecast. We are updating ourselves to a more smart workspace which is capable of producing project intelligence and keeps us updated every minute and every day. Then now we'll be learning about designing an e-commerce model for a middle organization, where basically we will deal with business planning of an e-commerce project. Now what is business planning? The business planning of an e-commerce project is the most important phase. Decisions which we make at this stage, they can have a proportionate effect later in the project. So that's why making decision in this stage is very important, making the correct decisions. Not only this, organizations that go into the technical planning and product selection phase without understanding the business issue, the organization which are not understanding the issue but directly going for technical planning, they will eventually resolve them, but to work around problems rather than do the project right first time. So they will have to tackle the problems and will have to resolve them. Whereas if we already understand the business issues and then go on with the planning, then we are less likely to have issues in the organization while forming the business plans. Now, online business planning involves project management. Now, when we talk about project management, our first motive is we have to think of what project we are taking up in, and we need to develop the project, we need to manage it. So let's say for example, the development of your online store, you are developing an online store, what would it need? It needs to be looked at as a project. First you need to think that this is a project that I am taking up, and then what you need to do is you need to set it up with the business objectives, set up a budget, you need to have a time scale as you would have had for any other project. So whatever task you take up, you have to consider it as a project. You need to manage it in the way you have got a project. So that's project management. Next is market analysis. Now once you have done project management, you, in order to achieve the best result, you need to understand your market, whatever market you have nearby where you are about to set up the project. You need to understand the market. What all aspects you need to understand? You need to aspect about the region, that is what kind of region are you targeting, maybe domestic, maybe international, maybe national. So you need to just know about the region. You need to know about the type of people that are there, they are general public or they are business class. You need to know about the technology, that will the people be aware about the technology that you will be using, will they be up to date with it, or you will have to upgrade their skills. Then you need to know about your awareness, that is your target market likely to understand the process of electronic payment and be comfortable with it. That means your people, are they aware about the technologies and are they technically advanced enough that they can know the electronic payment methods. Then next is payment method. Next is what will be your preferred payment method. Maybe you are you're selling something, so you might opt for cash, you might opt for online credit cards, you might opt for customer account number and your fax credit card. So it all depends on from organization to organization. The next is currency. Now currency, again, what currency will you target? Market be comfortable paying with, that is maybe you're dealing with domestic market, so they will be paying in their domestic currency only. So currency depends upon the market that you are targeting, the type of people that you're targeting. Then not only that, creating traffic. How will your market find your website? Or maybe new customers, can you rely on good traffic in sales once launched from an existing loyal customer base, or will internet customers be entirely new? So all those things need to be kept in mind before planning an e-commerce project. Then analyzing product offering. Once you have done market analysis, you have to analyze the product offering. That means the product that you will offer, you have to analyze that. As with any business plan, definition of the offering is essential. What are you offering? The designers of the application need to understand the offering before they start. So before you start with the application, you need to understand the offering before they start. And there are some things that need to be kept in mind. For example, benefits. What unique benefits do you offer? Are you having any added value? That do you offer any added value like warranty or any after sale service? Are you offering that? You need to mention all those things on the application. Then special offers. Maybe you're giving some special offers, some discounts or some marketing or stock disposal proposals from time to time. So you need to upgrade those offers. Product set. Maybe what products do you want to offer on the net, on your website or on your application. Then any technical issue, are the products very technically very technical, requiring exact specification, or they are just generic and instantly and understood by the customer. So all these things you need to keep in mind while you are analyzing the product offering. Not only that, delivery also, delivery and ordering options. Then how will the product be delivered? What shipping options you are offering or how they can be changed. And order options also. Are there multiple ordering options available? For example, you can order you can order more than one product, you can order the same product in multiple quantities. So all those things need to be fixed and analyzed beforehand. Then next is analyzing business processes. Now once the e-commerce operation is set up, it will need to function efficiently. The direct cost of such an endeavor for the first year is likely to be well into 5 figures and normally will be in 6. That means the cost is quite high in the initial stages, given the margin of most goods and necessity to process the orders and ship the goods. Such a site is unlikely to be profitable unless it turns over millions of pounds worth of business. So unless your business expands to quite a good level, you are not likely to earn much profits. So that's how business planning of an e-commerce project is done. We need to keep in mind all these aspects. Then next is conceptual design. Now when we talk about conceptual design, it means the work of creating a high level structure for the system. For our entire system, we are creating a high level structure. Concepts and entities which the designers believe should form the system are described and should focus on questions such as the ones above. Now, whatever questions come to our mind, for example, if you are having an e-commerce system, do you need to link the e-commerce system to your current older processing system? Or maybe if you have any bank, does your bank have technical guidelines for the way in which the payments can be accepted? So all those questions, they might come to our mind. Now, so therefore it is important to work on the service level, that what kind of service we will be providing. One way of going about this is using a notation. One way is using a notation which does not permit the discussion to go into detail, which does not gives us the permission to go into much detail. The notation recommended is the user environment diagram. The notation which we have been recommended to use, it's basically a user environment diagram which contains what? Which contains the concept of activities, services and objects, whatever you are having. Then, and not only this user environment diagram is one concrete example of notations for conceptual models, and it is very similar to object oriented analysis and design, but also an important difference is the purpose of it. Now, next we have the infrastructure and the resources that are required for an e-commerce system. When we set up an e-commerce system, what are the resources or what are the infrastructure required? Now, e-commerce system are based on internet, we already know. Basic elements of infrastructure required for e-commerce system would be, first is internet. That's the most important one. Internet is what? It is a network of hundreds of thousands interconnected networks, that is NSP, network service providers, and it runs the backbones, that is, it is a major need. The next is the ISP, internet service provider. It provides the delivery sub-networks, it provides us the sub-networks. The next is TCP or IP. It is a standard of over 200 protocols that define the language of the internet. Then we have URL, Uniform Resource Locator. It is the address for a specific site. Domain name, it refers particular computer on the internet. Every particular computer has a different domain name. Then HTTP, Hypertext Protocol. It is the set of rules or protocol that govern the transfer of hypertext between two or more computers. Then web browser. Web browser is a piece of software that acts as an interface between the user and the inner workings of the internet, specifically the World Wide Web. Now, browsers are also referred to as web clients, or we can also call them universal clients, because in the server model or in the client model, the browser functions as the client program and browser acts on behalf of the user. The user is the one who's using the browser. So, browser acts on behalf of the user. Next is web server. Web server is a computer that is responsible for accepting HTTP requests from clients, which are known as web browsers, and serving them web pages which are usually HTML documents. So basically it is responsible for accepting the HTTP request, which we also call as web browsers, and we serve them with web pages that are known as HTML documents. The last one is firewall. Now, firewall is a piece of hardware or software which functions in a networked environment to prevent some communications forbidden by the security policy analogous to the functions of firewalls in building construction. So, basically it is a piece of hardware or software, but what it does is it prevents some communication forbidden by the security policy. That means some things which are forbidden due to security issues, those things are prevented via the firewall. So these are all the infrastructure or resources that we require for an e-commerce system. Now let's see some questions based on these concepts. The questions that can turn up from these concepts are, for example, you can have the write short notes on workplace or work zone or workspace, explain business planning of an e-commerce project, explain infrastructure and resource required for an e-commerce system. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos of Unit 4. Thank you.